Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, you're going to have Ethan. Ethan is from Scotland in the UK. So let's see what Ethan has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Ethan. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks. I'm good. A bit tired from the sun. It's very hot up here at the moment. So
I know it's very warm. It's been very, I think yesterday was the warmest day so far, but today was very warm as well, very hot.
yeah, that's we've been in it 2 days in a row now. So I'm getting a bit red.
So, tell me where you're from, Ethan.
Originally, I was born in Glasgow, and then moved about quite a lot as a kid to different places. Lived in Blackpool for a little while. Um, all over really.
Uh-huh. And where are you based right now?
I'm living in Carlisle at the moment, so it's just a few miles away from the Scottish border.
I see, I see. So tell me something interesting about there, something that stands out compared with other places in Scotland.
Oh, things that stand out in Carlisle. We've got the Carlisle Castle, um, olden castle style. You can go in there for free as well most of the time. And it's got all like the little areas where it used to have the old fashioned cannon, things like that. And
Huh?
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Amazing. And tell me what you do for work, for a living, Ethan.
Currently, just do a bit of volunteering here and there. At the
Huh?
moment, I'm trying a bit of full time employment. Fingers crossed. But
Amazing. Okay,
yeah.
great. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Yeah.
But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like to start the interview, with a phrase I saw on your TikTok. It says there, building a body I love. Yeah. And underneath you say recovery. What do you mean by that?
The building the body I love part is it's a little play on words because I do a bit of, albeit amateur bodybuilding, but I've also had to build my body from being born in the wrong gender. So it's like been a lot more construction than most, but um, yeah. And then the as for the recovery part, the thing is about recovery is you're never recovered, you're always recovering. So it's just taking it day by day.
Mhm. Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's amazing for you, to be able to through your life, inspiring people as well, go through, the gym, the fitness, and also regarding, you are a trans man. I think it's amazing to see that. And and also talking about so open about recovery. I think it's about healing and helping others as well. So thanks for being so open about it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ethan, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
I am. I am. I'll be interested to see what comes out my mouth.
Amazing. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. So I have my best friend full of random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna play a song just for us to relax before the first question. Okay? Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Of course.
Amazing. First question is, what's the best present have ever received and why you consider that?
The first thing that pops to mind, something like that, I would say was the first time I heard my mum call me Ethan. That was probably one of the best presents I've ever received.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Ethan. Wow.
Yeah, it was it was strange because it was in Primark. Um, yeah, and I went over to have a look at some clothes, and she was on the other side, and and she said it, and we hadn't really spoke much about it, about me transitioning. It's sort of been like a thing she knew about, and I didn't want to push her for it. And yeah, that was one of the first times where I knew for certain, like, my mom's got my back. Like,
Wow.
Wow,
what a moment. Amazing. And is your mom the person more close to in your life right now?
Yeah. My mum, and I'd say my sponsor, who helps me with my recovery side. He's kind of like a father figure to me. Like, it's
Wow.
it's a nice relationship. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so both of them, they're watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send them a message. What would you say?
For my mum, and she knows this, I love her to pieces. I always will. She's been there for me for so much. Dealt with a lot, and she's always been there. So I'd want her to know that I'm always going to be there for her. Like, I feel like now, getting into my 30s, it's my time to look after my mom's looked after me a lot. So
Wow.
it's my time to give back. And as for my sponsor, he's a lifesaver. He was the first person that I allowed to get close to me.
Wow.
In general, and especially with it being another man as well, it's a loving relationship. There's a lot of love, a lot of respect, mutual as well. I say I would consider him a father figure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
sweet. I can see both of them right now watch this interview and smiling after that. Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, Ethan from Scotland. Who was your first crush and why?
Oh, my first crush, I remember it would either be Sandy from Greece, so Olivia Newton-John, or it would be Nicole Kidman when she was in Moulin Rouge. Both musicals. Yeah, both just absolutely stunning women. I think like the talent of the dancing and singing as well was just like that added extra. Like, both, like, well, especially at the end of Grease, like, both women are very know what they want and straightforward about it, and I like that.
I love Nicole Kidman. My God, when I watch her movies, she literally makes me believe that she's a character she's playing. There's something about her. Always I go like, my God, how is possible that? It's amazing. I love her.
She's so adaptable as well. She's not just a one type of role. She's played many roles. Let's say from like Moulin Rouge, like a musical, to something like The Others, which is like a horror suspense kind of thing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing. Great. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, Ethan, so tell me, when was the moment for you that, okay, I was born in the wrong gender. There was a moment in your life or through your life you kind of realized that, there was something about you that, you couldn't connect with. There was something there. If you can share, of course.
Yeah. I didn't end up coming out till probably like a little bit later on in life, so it wasn't till about even then it's not that old, like 17 I think it was, and then by 18 that's when I was transitioning medically. But by that point, there was a lot of discovery. I gained a vocabulary. Before that, thinking back, one of my first memories was the night before my first day of school, speaking to my mum, and I'm the youngest of six, so there's a lot of us, and I think like there was some like, yeah, there's a lot. So there was like a conversation around what happened with each of us being born, like what kind of cravings my mum had, and things like that, any like events and the births and things. And I remember asking my mum, because we were talking about like how they came up with our names, and I asked her what would my name be if I was born a boy, and she said Connor. So I was like, right, okay. And then my next day at school, I had very short hair at that point. I was introducing myself as Connor, and I didn't know why, but it just felt right. But then the jig was up once they started reading out the register, and completely different name is being said. And I always like remember thinking, why did I do that? I know now why. I just didn't have the vocabulary. It certainly wasn't as wide a thing as what it is now. It's not as normal as what it is now. It was a very abnormal thing. A lot of the time, the only sort of things you'd see in media about trans people would be trans women, mostly in movies, and they would be the butt of the joke. Or trans women would get confused with drag queens, and they would be the butt of the joke. So that's all I saw growing up. I didn't even realize people could go the other way around, like a female transitioning to a male, because that's all I saw was these wouldn't be able to put out in the cinema kind of movies now, like not PC. But we came a long way since then, and it's nice. It's nice. It's good knowing that things are. It's never easy, but it's easier when you know that you're going to be accepted by the majority rather than the minority.
Totally. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing to hear that, Ethan, and it makes no sense. Sometimes, you don't need to be a trans or any other, like for example, gay guy or a lesbian. There's always someone, as you said, a minority that's gonna somehow don't agree with you, but I think the umbrella is much bigger now, and people they're more accepting. Yeah, I've got goosebumps saying that because it's so true now. It's not easy, as you know very well. Sometimes, however, you can. I think you can feel the society nowadays. It's somehow it's open more the umbrella, and people they're more accepting for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Okay. Next question is talking about growing up. What was your best friend's name growing up, and why did you consider this person your best friend at the time?
My best friend growing up would probably be still in contact with her from time to time now, actually, named Samantha. I met her when I was 11, I think, at a youth club that was just done in this little, it was just a church hall hire ran by this, I lived in a little village at the time, so it was just ran by this woman who lived in the village, called Sally, and we met her there, we met there, and we just sort of instantly clicked. She's very calm, collected, and logical, and I was very jump around, spontaneous, doing mad stuff. So we complemented each other quite well. And then we found out that we only lived 5 minutes away from each other, so it was constant trips back and forth to the house.
That's amazing.
I was just saying, I remember when I told Samantha, she was one of the first people outside of my mum that I told about my transition. I remember her being the least scariest one to tell, because I was like, I know I'll be fine. I know I'll be fine.
Oh.
Like, yeah, there's always that anxiety with telling people like, oh, maybe, but like it wasn't as strong. I was like, we're gonna be fine. You'll be fine.
Wow.
not-
Saying that, when you think about yourself, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being Ethan? What do you like the most about being you?
Oh, the unpredictability. There's not much in my life that's very predictable, and I like that. Keeps me on my toes. Keeps things interesting. I like the fact that people feel comfortable. People feel comfortable coming to me when stuff isn't quite going right for them.
Amazing.
It's nice to be able to give that back.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Ethan. Next question is, what makes you most proud?
Makes me most proud. Just being me. I can't be any more proud than that. I'm proud of my strengths. I'm proud of my shortcomings. I like my flaws. I like my assets. I'm just proud that I can be authentically me without worrying that I'm going to be alone because of it. Right?
Wow. And fitness always been part of your life?
Yeah, it has, to be fair. For a long time, it was dancing. That's actually what my degree is in. I got a joint honours in dance and musical theatre.
Wow.
So, like, that was always, I always enjoyed that. But before I did it, before I was doing dance and stuff at university and college and stuff, it was just like me messing around in my room, watching YouTube videos, like trying to copy what people did on like Step Up One and all that sort of stuff. Watching musicals back to back and trying to copy it. And I always liked street dancing for the tricks and like all the mad stuff. So I used to try and recreate that, and I broke a couple of lamps in my time. Yeah, I had a few instances where my mum was like, "Right, this is an outside activity. Can we stop doing it in the house?"
Amazing. And I can see, of course, you have beautiful tattoos in your body. Tell me which one. It's the very meaningful one. The most meaningful one, sorry, yeah.
To be honest, I think it's a tie. It's a tie. I've got a Celtic cross on my wrist that's turquoise because my mum has never liked tattoos. She's never been a fan of tattoos, and so when I was getting tattoos at like the age of 16 and stuff, she wasn't impressed. So when she realised that this is going to be a continuous thing with Ethan, because this is how Ethan is. When he likes something, he goes to the extreme with it. So she knew that more were coming. She was like, please, please, please. And I said to her, right, I'll make you a deal. I was like, you can pick one tattoo for me, and it can be whatever you want, but you can't complain about me getting any more tattoos. Ooh. And she was like, right, okay, then I'll do that. And she picked this because it's a Celtic one, so it's Scottish, and turquoise is her favourite colour. So that's like a really memorable one for me, because it's I'm pretty sure it's like the only tattoo that I've let another person choose for me. Like, so that means a lot. And then my other one would be this one that I've got here, that looks like a little stamp. And it says 27 Club, and then the stamp says membership expired. Because that was always a thing. I never thought I would get past the age of 27 for whatever reason. So
Wow.
when I got to my 28th birthday, I got my membership had expired. I wasn't getting into the club anymore. That was a
Interesting.
big milestone.
I love it. Amazing. 3 questions left. Let's do it. Okay. Next question for you is, when was the last time that you cried and why?
The last time I cried was April the 5th, so last month. That's the anniversary of a friend who was very close to my death.
Wow.
Met him in recovery. We became very close. He sadly relapsed and died. He overdosed. And this is the second year without him.
Wow.
Last year we did Sky Lanterns, and a few of us got together and we were all rolling about with laughter because the wind was so bad and we couldn't get these lanterns lit, and we were like, we're sure he's doing this on purpose. He's up there having a laugh and a carry on that we're trying to like hide in a car and light a lantern. So this year we did water lanterns, and we just went down to a little river in the park, and I just thought about it. But this year and it still is. It's happy tears.
Oh.
I'll always miss my friend. I'm glad he's not in pain anymore.
Oh.
It's the best way to think.
Oh, sweet. I think that those people, they come into our lives and sometimes they go too fast, too quick. However, the memory is gonna be always there, and I'm sure whatever he is right now, he's just smiling, knowing that you are here, you are strong, you are being yourself, and sometimes we don't understand those things in life. However, you just the only way is to accept it, and it's a big example that life sometimes takes us this direction of sadness, but the only way sometimes just for us to believe that everything happened for a reason, and the memory is always going to be over there for sure. Thanks for sharing. Sweet. 2 questions left, Ethan. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Okay, so before the next question, tell me, being a trans man, of course, I'm sure you have a lot of situations that, people can misunderstand, or sometimes yourself, being a man. So tell me, I'm going to ask one question, 2 parts. The first part of the question is, share like a funny story that happened to you, because you was trans man, that you found funny for some reason. And the other part of the question is, can you share a situation that maybe was a bit awkward, or maybe you did, let's say, a negative way that happened to you, because you are trans man, if you can share.
Yeah. So funny one would be, so when I moved up here to go to uni for my first year of uni, I didn't tell anyone I'd already been on hormones for a long time. Still hadn't had chest surgery, but I used to wear a binding vest every day. Like, it wasn't noticeable. And I didn't tell anyone because I went, well, for the first year, I just want them to get to know me. I just get to know Ethan, and then you can get to know all the little subsets of my life, because it is just a subset.
Totally, yeah.
Like, there's a lot more to me than just that. It's a very small part of the pie chart. So I wanted them to get to know me first, and then hopefully that would help with any sort of because I feel like when people get to know a person before a label, especially if they're not too sure about that label, totally. It's a bit harder, because you're like, oh no, this is another human being. Like, I see them do human being stuff every day. I do human being stuff with them. Like, so I've found that it makes it a little bit easier. So with my second year, I went to tell one of my lecturers, and I was like, Jill, I just want to let you know that I'm transgender. I am transitioning. And she was like, oh, all right, brilliant, completely accepted. And she was like, so what is your name going to be? And I went, it's going to be Ethan, Jill. And she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, all right. And so anyway, like two, maybe 3 weeks go past. And then we're doing class, and all of a sudden she just looks at me like this, and then goes back to teaching. And she says, Ethan, can you stay behind for a second? I was like, yeah, sure. She went, you're transitioning to a woman, right? I went, no, Jill. I was born a woman. I'm transitioning to a man. She was like, oh, right. She was like, that's why your name isn't changed. I went, yes. I went, it's already been changed, Jill. And then she was like, I thought you were born a man. And I was like, well, that's a great compliment.
I love that. I love that as well.
Oh, it was so funny. It's the fact that there was like a 2-3 week like break in between where like and then the penny finally dropped. Oh, it's so funny.
I love
like
it.
One of the best reactions I've had, to be fair.
It's so interesting because, she saw the real person there. You know what I mean? Before, I think she saw you. I think that's what's amazing. Wow. I love it.
She was a great lecturer. She was funny. Yeah, a bit of a more awkward kind of like, I think it was quite a realization sort of moment. Was so in my early transition, like I said, came out around like 17. Started medically transition once I got to 18. But before that, obviously, I wasn't on any hormones or anything. I still presented as male at that point. Like, I don't like to use the term pass. It's more of an outdated sort of lingo now. Nowadays, it's not about like what you wear, it's just about who you are. But back then, like, passing was a big thing. To pass, to be what gender it was you wanted to express yourself. And apart from the voice, I passed like pretty all right. So I'd go to nightclubs and stuff, and as you do when you've had a few drinks, you have to go break the seal. So started using I'd use the disabled toilets at first if there was one. But there's times when nightclubs don't have them, so I would use the male toilet, and everything was going fine and well. And one time I went on a night out, and I was in the male toilets, and I was obviously waiting on a cubicle, and all of a sudden this man came in, and not to sound stereotypically, but he presented as a gay man, as part of the LGBT community, queer in some sense, I'll say.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he went, and then it doesn't bother me as much now because I just think of it as he's drunk. He probably won't even remember this has happened the next day.
Yeah.
But he looked at me, he pointed at me, he was like, you shouldn't be in here. I know what you are. And I was like, terrified. And I just went, and so like dropping the voice down as much as possible. I'm like, I just sort of like played ignorant. I was like, I don't know what you're on about, mate. I think you're steaming out your face. And like all the guys laughed out at the cubicle and everyone ran. But yeah, that was it caught me off guard because I was like, you're part of my community, pal. We're on the same team. Like, help me out here. Help me out. Keep me safe. But,
yeah, I love that you took in a very positive way. You know what I mean? It's I had a lovely trans man here on the show not long ago, and he mentioned the same as well. He mentioned that he works with other guys. They're like traveling. They're like delivering things, and there was a moment as well, like the same thing about the toilet situation. But again, I think you take sometimes you should sometimes just up to you to kind of somehow turn around the situation and make in a way that's not gonna, turn things in a way that we're not expecting.
Yeah, that's it. It's all about de-escalating and getting out of it as quick as possible. But the good thing is like now I can tell the difference between someone maybe saying something that might not be worded the best way, or may have language that we don't use as much as like accepted now, because they haven't been taught. They don't know any better. They've not had any experience with such community, compared to someone doing it from maliciousness and hate. I can tell the difference. I can give a lot of compassion to someone who it's just a lack of understanding, and I can give compassion to someone who hates, because I'm like, it's a lot of energy to hate. And like, I've not got enough energy to do it, so go for it, pal. Like, it doesn't bother me. But it took many years to sort of build up that thick skin. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. Great. Okay, next question is, what things do you consider to be relationship deal breakers?
Lack of compassion, dishonesty. This is just one that I see off the bat. If I see someone being rude to a retail worker, a food worker, waiting staff, I'm like, no. I'm like, because no, it just instantly. And I know that may sound like a small thing to some, but it's a big tell over who a person is. Like,
totally, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a deal breaker for me. Someone who takes things too serious. Like, I'm not that much of a serious person. I'll make a joke out of a really bad situation. Like, and I need someone who's able to laugh about it. Like, I've been having arguments with people, and then couldn't help myself but say a joke, and we've just started laughing, and like, that's been the end of the argument. Like, it's just need someone who's like able to say like, right, can we have a wee break, have a laugh and a giggle, and get back to this when we can talk properly. Like, stuff like that.
Amazing. Very good. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Next question is, what's your most embarrassing moment?
So I'd went to Tenerife for my friend's mum's wedding, or ceremony. We couldn't officially get married over there, so they're having the ceremony and then going and getting the papers signed here. And
right,
we were there for a week, so the rule was you could drink as much as you want, but on the day of the wedding you have to stay sober until after the ceremony. Perfect. So I was obliterated through most of the holiday, apart from those like 4 hours, and then I was straight back to it afterwards. But everyone else was at that point, so we'd all went to this little bar that was technically attached to the hotel, but it wasn't inside the hotel. So the hotel had a fence, and you needed a card key to be able to open it after a certain time. So we'd all went out, and we were already drunk before we'd went out because we just came back to get changed. Went in, got more drunk, and then when we were trying to get in the fence, we realised absolutely none of us had a card, none of us had a key. This thing doesn't have a wee buzzer to try and get anyone's attention. And there's like this little space at the top of the gate. Bear in mind, this is a spiked gate. Me and my quick thinking was like, I'll just climb over it. We'll be fine. I'll just climb over it. I'm like, right, okay, yeah, Ethan, you're the smallest. We'll give you a little lift up and just go over. I was like, yeah, I've got this. So I get over, but then as I get over, like, I've got a hold of like the poles upside down, and my hands slide down. As my hands slide down, I realise I can hear ripping, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I realise that I can take my hands off the fence, and I'm hanging off my fence by my trousers because it had like ripped at the arse
Ooh.
down my leg, and I was just hanging upside down, like absolute mess. Like I didn't get any injury or anything, but I had these to top it off, I had these SpongeBob boxers that the eyes and the teeth glowed in the dark. So all you could see were these like little eyes and teeth jiggling in the air, and they had to sort of like go under the gate and lift me to get me off. So yeah, those wedding trousers went straight into the bin after that. They didn't even last the day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I don't know how many people saw that, and I don't care to know. It's fine. I'll sleep happy not knowing.
And those oops moments, like, oops, it happened.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I find it funny. I find it hilarious.
Amazing. Last question, ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Last question. Ethan, before the last question, people watching this interview right now, maybe they're starting a journey of transition, yeah, or maybe they are in a moment of their lives that maybe they don't have the support, or maybe they feel like they are alone out there. So tell me, what would be your best piece of advice for those people?
People say, "Give time, right?
Mhm.
Time's gonna pass regardless. It's what you do in that time. What you do today could help who you are in the future. Doesn't matter what you did yesterday. Yesterday's gone now. Stay in the day and just give your effort time to grow. Like, all beautiful things
Mhm.
are grown in a slow process. So it is going to be slow. So just because it means that you might not be where you want to be at this precise moment in time, remind yourself that it's where you need to be who you want. Yeah.
Great. Last question is, how would you like to be remembered in life?
Someone who's been able to pass on my experience. I say, going through the stuff that I have, I've went through a lot of tough, bad times in my life, but it's made me who I am today, and because of that, I can kind of look back at those bad moments or those traumas and almost see it as a superpower, because I can identify with someone who's went through the same, or who is possibly going into the same area that I did, and I can say to them, like, "Look, I get how you're feeling, because I've been there." Like, that is a superpower. Empathy is like one of the most amazing things human beings like have. It's what separates us from most living things.
Totally.
So like, yeah.
Amazing. Great. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some more words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with money.
Money. Luxury.
Okay. Family.
Chosen.
Okay. Fear.
Courage. Yeah.
Life.
Yeah, I was crazy.
Okay. Love.
Crazier.
I love it. One word for religion.
Religion. Respected. I can respect it. It's not this. I'm more spiritual than religious. But I can respect religion. It does
Like
a lot.
that. Sex.
Might be cheating with this because it's 2 words, but more acceptable, as in like more acceptable to talk about. It's not a bad thing. Like, it's not a bad thing, and it's not just there for reproduction. Like, it's there to be enjoyed. And when people talk openly about it, people can be more educated. There's less chance of unwanted pregnancies, of STIs, of anything like that. People even going down to like younger ages, teaching children about not necessarily full-blown sex, but being able to say this is what this is, and this is inappropriate for the grooming situations can't occur, and things like that. Like, it's just needs to be opened. Just
Totally.
open.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's something that people, they shouldn't be afraid of. Something normal. It's something normal that all of us, we enjoy it. So it's part of it. Yeah.
Well, it's not that thing. It's like
Politics.
a farce. A farce.
Okay.
I don't like politics. I can't deal with politics. I never believe that that our best interests are always taken into consideration, especially with the recent apology change when it comes to trans people. Like, the fact that has been altered under the name of equality is backwards. It's disgusting, but also backwards and does not make sense. You can't take stuff away from people and call it equality.
Totally. Yeah. One word for friendship.
Friendship. Powerful.
Okay.
Powerful.
Desire.
Needed. Desire. Needed.
One word for success.
Success. In reach. It's always
wish.
Wish. Reality.
Happiness.
Internal.
Wow. One word for Scotland.
Beautiful.
And the last one now, transgender.
I should have said free. There'll be so many people watching this saying a Scottish man has not said freedom to Scotland, so I'm going to have to say freedom.
And the last one now, one word for transgender.
Courageous. Authentic. Authentic. Yeah.
I like it. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your mom for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your mom, define Ethan in one positive and one negative word only. What should say?
Oh, I'd say a positive and a negative would be the same thing. It would be Ethan is very helpful, but sometimes to his own detriment.
I like that.
I'm very good at burning the candles at both ends.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure your mom knows what she's talking about. Knows you very well.
Oh yeah, there's times where she tells me to not do something that I haven't even thought about doing yet, but she knows that I'll think about doing it, and she's just like, "Don't you think about it? I don't want to know what you." It's that mum power.
Let's play now, Ethan, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Ethan, you can ask me a question now.
What made you choose this as your way of connecting to the world? What was your inspiration for that?
Wow, great question. You know, it's so interesting, you're talking about your journey, about your experiences in life. And the big inspiration for me to do the show, Ethan, is about people. You have no idea how lucky I feel every day when I sit down here to do the interviews. I feel so excited. The moment when I send the request, and I'm excited and waiting for my guest to accept the call, because for me it's like, my God, it's an opportunity for me. I'm gonna make memories, I'm gonna learn lessons, I'm gonna teach something or learn together. I'm gonna talk to someone that I never met before, and it's gonna be a memory here that for one reason or another we meant to have in these moments today. So the big inspiration for me is about people. I think we are so different at the same time as well. We are very, very similar. I think all of us, through those so many interviews I've done so far, Ethan, I realized that all of us, we we are we are trying to be a better person. We are growing. We are trying to get to a place where we can, you know, be our truly selves. We want to expose. We want to be to say things that we just want to be here as like everyone else wants to be. We just want to be our truly self. And I think all of us, we are working hard. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. I think we are here trying to be a better person every day. So that's why inspired me the most about the show. It's about people. It's about people to see how much, there are so many interesting people around the globe. Sometimes we don't even know, and see so many people here sharing their memories, sharing their lives. I think it's amazing to see. So yeah, the big inspiration for me, it's all 100%. It's about people for sure.
Oh, incredible. I mean, like you're so open-minded. Have you always been like that? Is that something you grew up with? Like,
I I love your question. Actually, I was talking to a friend about that today. You know what? I think I've been very lucky, Ethan, that my parents, I come from a very like a poor family. I never had, like luxury or anything. However, I remember growing up and I look back, my parents, they just let me be. You know what I mean? I remember that. I remember that sometimes I had, I was boiling at school. Sometimes I had my troubles as well. However, I remember my mom, she was always like, you know what? Just keep going. You are doing well. She's always there with her own words. So always being very approachable, that's for sure. But I must say, since I started doing the show, my mind has opened more and more because there are so many topics here that I talk about it that I never heard before. I remember the very first time when I heard the word polyamorous. I never heard it before, and was here during the show. And this lovely man, he explained to me about it. I was like, oh my god, that's interesting. So just a small example for you to see how much I've learned here. And talking to everyone here, every person I talk here, I get something out of it for sure. Sometimes I don't see during the interview because I'm here like with emotions, I'm enjoying it. But when I'm editing the interview, that's the moment I go like, oh my god, it's so interesting. So yes, I feel the luckiest, to be able to sit here and connect with people because I learn every day. And I was talking to a friend about that, and imagine over 1,000 interviews. So imagine the master class I had here already.
yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's incredible. Very
yeah,
inspiring.
I love that, Ethan. I think it's amazing for me to be able here to talk to people, and again, I'm sure you as well. You take something out of the interview. There's always something that we take out of it, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, I've had a great time. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. It's brought a few things up in my mind that I haven't thought about for a long time. It's nice.
Thanks
Nice.
again. Thanks for being
Brilliant.
so open and also expose yourself. I know it's not easy sometimes, and you need to be brave. You know what I mean? Most of the time, we need to be brave to be ourselves, and and for you to be able to expose your life and to expose your truly self. I think it's very brave and very inspiring as well. So carry on with your. I've been watching your videos on, on TikTok about your fitness. I was like, my God, it's amazing to see. I love that. That's amazing. Before before you go, Ethan, if you can share a positive message or anything that you leave back.
Something very, just a very small one that I always try and remind myself, and it comes from recovery. It's something that I get reminded a lot by my sponsor. Is principles before personalities. So basically, don't treat any. It doesn't matter who the person is in front of you. You treat them the same as you would treat your best friend, your neighbor, the person down the shop. You use spiritual principles rather than you look at the spirit, not the personality. Like,
Totally agree with you. As you said in the beginning of the interview about relationship, if you are with someone, you can tell how people are, how the way they treat others. And I think it says a lot about other people for sure.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks again. It was a pleasure to connect with you. So thank
you very much for inviting. I appreciate it.
The pleasure's all mine. Thanks again and enjoy your weekend. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Okay? Take care.
You too. Take care. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.